Hi everyone, this is Susie from Minnesota Zone 4, and this is the first tour for 2019. It is May 2nd. It's overcast right now. The sun peeks through every now and then. And these are my lilacs. We had a horrible winter. Just absolutely horrible. Probably the worst one in over 20 years. We actually had a temp that got to minus 31 degrees Fahrenheit. And the snow. It was every other day I was shoveling. My hydrangeas, I got them trimmed up. I had a lot of breakage, so I might have to prune them a little bit more. We just had such heavy snow. It is a little breezy, so I apologize if that affects the sound quality. That needs to go to the waste site. It's just, I'm usually working when the waste site is open. Very inconvenient. Got a lot of things cleaned up. I moved this planter here, and I'll show you where I moved my other one. It was looking a little ratty, so I think this will look kind of good here. My boomerang lilac. Things are just starting to emerge, so it's not going to be that great of a tour. But just like to show you how things kind of look. I have a lot to do, a lot of cleanup. Again, I had a lot of breakage. It's been, I don't know, just a little sad as to what's all broken. And in here, I have my Arctic raspberries. They're doing really good. They're hardy to zone 2, so I knew they'd come back, but they like to spread. I'm glad I have them in a bed, because if they weren't in a bed, I think they'd take over. I can't wait to see what they're like. And then I have strawberries in here too. I took off most of the leaves, and then there's some in here, so I'm just leaving it. It'll decompose. This is my sun garden. So I had put about a foot of leaves on this garden just because it was rather new and I wanted to protect everything, and I'm glad I did because of our harsh winter. But I just kind of pulled the leaves away from the base of the plant, and I'm leaving the rest for mulch right now. You can see that I have grass coming through. So when I lay down my bark mulch, I won't lay it down until about the middle of June. That's usually when all of my trees drop their seeds and cotton and the ground has warmed up. But I think so far everything has come back. You can see in here some daylilies are poking through. Every now and then I have to just go and remove some of the leaves so it doesn't cover it. Seed them. Only thing that I haven't seen yet is my Russian sage. I'm not seeing any new little buds coming out of that, so I hope it comes up. Oh, I was going to show you my tree peony. Very happy because this was just a little guy when I planted him. Looking very good. Still small, but I have high hopes for him. Right now the weather is in the 50s. We've had some nice weather on and off, and then some cold. It's like it doesn't know what to do. A few days ago they were predicting snow. We didn't get any. This is my Ito peony. Ito, not sure, but very happy that one came back too. My roses are doing really good too. I'll show you this one. If you can see the little buds on it. I'm surprised because I think all of these, they were mislabeled and they said zone 4, but when I went online it said zone 5. This is my little greenhouse. I had a taller one last year, but because it was a little uneven, it kept shifting and the plastic ripped. It just didn't work out, so I had to get rid of that one. So I just went with just a one level, and I don't have much in here right now, just because the temps have been just up and down. But I call these my sacrificial plants to see how they do. I have so many plants inside that I started from seed. Lots of flowers. So I just want to make sure that they can survive. I had one in there that didn't make it. Just a morning glory. Not sure why, because this was with the other ones and the other ones did good, but maybe it was just where it was located. Let's see, which way do I want to go? The squirrels have been digging all over. And I don't mind this right now, but I will once I plant it up. This is kind of my dump area right now until I can kind of move things around and place it where I want. This is where I moved that one planter. So I'm thinking about using this for vegetables. I'm just gonna line this with some black fabric, landscape fabric, just because I don't know what kind of paint was used. And then maybe I will have some sort of a trellis system. With my small little veggie garden, best way to grow is up. So these back here are my castor oil beans. Aren't they amazing? I had one heck of a time getting them out of the raised beds. I'm not doing them this year. I'm taking a break. You can see that root system is going all the way up, which kind of explains why some of the plants in there didn't do so good last year. Like my cosmos seemed to be struggling. And I think it's just these roots took over. I was so afraid that they were going to fall over. Nothing was going to knock these babies over. These are my garlic chives. They've been good. They haven't been spreading too much. They've just kind of stayed in that clump. Again, this is all the stuff that I cleaned out of my garden. Stuff that I can't fit in my compost bin that's just waiting to go to the waste site. It's a bit of a mess, but it's okay. I'll get there. My rhubarb looks really good. Don't you just love the birds? And then my compost sack here is full of shredded leaves. Last year I got the most beautiful compost from that, just by leaves and coffee grounds. That's all I did. So all my leaves I reuse. I do not get rid of them. They don't go to the dump site. I love it. This shrub may not come back. I know this is zone 5. It's a little tender, but it's always late to emerge. And here, this is where I had my clematis. I'm not sure. It's a little too early, but that broke all the way to the ground. And that was pink mink. It was newly planted last year. This one I can see some growth. I don't know if I can, right there. So we'll see what happens. Pretty much all my vines broke to the ground. Just busted off. My hands are a little cold. Sorry for the shakiness. Let's see. This is turtle head, big clump. Can't really see a whole lot right now just because they're talking 70s coming up. So we had a good rain yesterday. I have a feeling things will really start to take off. This is my wild ginger. Once everything grows and you can't see it, I might move a clump and put it elsewhere because it's a really unique little ground cover. Flowers are kind of ugly, but then again, I'm not really growing it for the flowers. Oh, my bunny tipped over. I gotta set him up. Hostas and more hostas. My giant fleece flower starting to emerge a little bit. It wouldn't surprise me if this isn't as big as last year because of our weather. That was brutal. I know I keep saying that, but let me know if you had a really horrible winter too. It was bad. Some areas had it really nice and some areas just are still experiencing snow. Pagoda dogwood looks really good. I think that bunnies have been kind of chewing on it a little bit, which makes me nervous. One of my favorite shrubs. Daylilies. They're so dependable. Peony. Let's see, to try and get through. And this is my honeysuckle vine. So this had 3 vines coming from it and only 1 survived. The other 2 busted off. It's doing okay. I think I have some growth too at the bottom. It's a pretty vigorous vine. Clematis is a little more tender, so I'm not too worried about the honeysuckle. That is my fern in there. I don't know when they start appearing, but I'm a little nervous that that one did not make it, which will be a shame. Sorry if I'm shaky. Ouch. Snagged by the pine tree. Lily of the valley starting to come up. And all the reddish pink stuff in there is Philopendula. I got most of my pots to clean out yet. This is my hosta bed. I just kind of leave the leaves. And I also do that just because if they are predicting some really cold temps at night. So far we haven't had any freezing temps. But it's also I kind of cover up the new shoots to protect it from the bunnies. I know some are emerging, but you're not going to see that quite yet. That's what's with all the leaves. Lots of branches that had fallen. It's a mess. I still have to do yard work. I think this is called lamiastrum, a type of lamium. I didn't know it when I planted in my pot one year that it was a perennial, hardy to zone 2, so this is taking over. That I have to watch. I don't know what this is. This was probably the first thing to pop up. I am not sure. I think that might be a weed. Let me know what you think. Let's see if I can get a little closer. Lady's mantle, pulmonaria, or lungwort. I like calling it pulmonaria because lungwort's kind of, let me see. Huh. I'm wondering if those were my lilies and something chewed them off. Or it could be a hosta, I don't know. I get a little nervous with the rabbits. Oh, finally this has spread a little bit. Another pulmonaria. I will set him up later. Primrose. It's always green. It never goes brown. And then in here is my Sabaria sorbifolia stem. And it's a really neat looking plant, but it's very vigorous. If you look at the ground, it runs a lot. I've been digging it out, so be careful. This probably wasn't the best spot for it. If I was to plant it again, I'd have to just give it its own area. Because you'll see it's coming up here too. But it is really neat looking. I like how the new growth emerges pink. I think the tiger eye is done for, but the bark doesn't look so fantastic. If you look, I think it's the weight of that branch. We'll see what happens. I might just dig it up and start with something else. That's just creeping Jenny in there. Mock orange had a lot of breakage. It's looking okay. It's not the best. I hope it blooms this year. If it doesn't, I might have to just move it somewhere else. Maybe it's not getting enough sun. Chives. And then this is my dog fence that I had put in. I absolutely love it. I had it put in about the end of summer last year, and it's just been a lifesaver with my dogs. It's been fun. Can just let both of them out. I don't have to worry about lines getting tangled up, and I can just leave them out here as I'm gardening. I just always worried about them getting tangled. Grass is a little dead in there because I'm always picking up after my dogs right away. So that's from me. And I got a little snowblower too. The front driveway I shovel, it's small enough, but this I couldn't lift the shovel high enough to get over that. So my little snowblower is electric. It's a little pain with the cord, but a lifesaver. And it got me through a lot. I'm surprised it kept running. Sum and Substance, my favorite. Isn't it how weird that this one is very purple? Both of these are Sum and Substance here, but very purple here coming up. And not quite as purple. It's a big clump. I don't divide my hostas. Maybe one year I will. Not the extra large ones because they take so long to get to their biggest size, to their mature size. But the smaller ones tend to be a little faster growing. And this is Semisafuga, black snake root. I might move this year. I think that Sum and Substance is getting too big for this, but I'm not sure where. Little hostas. I want to say that might be curly fries coming down there. Goat's beard. And then in here, I'm so happy to have this coming back, is Brunnera. I can't wait. It's a nice little clump. I was a little worried when it wasn't coming up and I thought it died. Variegated comfrey. I think this is going to be the year of the hostas just because we had a wet summer, a wet fall, a wet winter, and a very wet spring. So I think they're loving this. This is another Brunnera. It doesn't look quite as good as that one, but there was something digging over here, so I think it disturbed it. More hostas. My bleeding heart. And this is the south side of the house, so all of this is so much warmer than the other areas. But it is starting to bloom. It is so pretty. See if I can get closer. And this peony, I'm not sure what I want to do with right now. It is on the south side, but once the leaves appear, it's going to be shaded. So I don't know what I want to do with this. That's a nice sized clump of hosta. That lily looks good. I think it's called Lollipop. This is bush honeysuckle. I'm going to have to trim that. I'm going to say that's probably a little invasive here. Okay. Zoom out. I don't want to make you too dizzy. I haven't cleaned this out a lot with the leaves. This one I don't put a lot of leaves on. Whatever falls, falls. And then the rest just kind of blow off. This is my snow on the mountain. And honestly, I think it can tough it out with all the leaves on it. I just like to get some of the debris cleaned up. These are tree roots. I like to get that trimmed. Let's see. I don't have to show you the shrubs. That's all that's grown over there. It's hardy geranium. Okay. I'm going to go back this way and I'll come to that garden. Some of my neighbors are out. I don't want to bug them. So my plans for this area though, because this is such a, I hate straight lines. And right now it's just kind of bugging me because to me that's all you see. So I'm thinking about, this is just going to be mulch in here. And then I'm going to come around here, around the whole area and plant, I'm thinking hostas, but right now until my leaves emerge, I don't know how much sun it's getting. So even if it's part sun, that would definitely open up my options. But it's not just going to be a straight line. I'm probably going to come out a little bit, and I'm going to leave a grass path in there. I was going to mulch everything. I just thought it would be too much. I like a little green for contrast, but it's just to soften the lines of this, because I like things looking as natural as can be, and this definitely isn't. It's the only thing that I've had kind of an issue with is because it's definitely not nature. But yeah, my only thing is I'm trying to figure out here, I want to leave enough room. I was thinking at least 3 feet, because if I do hostas, they can get about 3 feet in diameter, but leave enough path for me to kind of get through. But again, it's just going to kind of follow a curve here and not just be straight lines. But that means digging up all that sod. And then also, with all of that sod, I have some plants coming. It's kind of for like a semi-shaded woodland garden. They're like little plugs I ordered online. And then I was just going to extend this. I figure I would put the sod all over here and have it kind of decompose and make it a little more natural. A lot of work involved, but I really did not feel like hauling all of that sod to the waste site. I've done it before. It's a pain. Okay, I think my neighbors are gone. I have really good neighbors. I just didn't want them to be bugged by me. Okay. This right here is a hardy geranium that has the purplish black foliage. I'm glad to see that coming back. This is a stilbe. Not much coming up in here either. My Hakana grass is coming up. I was really surprised. But again, this one also got about a foot of mulch. But there's just not a whole lot that... let's see. That one didn't do so good last year. So I'm just glad to see it coming back. It's just going to be a little tiny thing. That clump looks really good. I don't know about this astilbe. I'm not seeing any growth on that one. So we'll see. Columbine. I'm hoping this blooms this year so I can see what color it's going to be. Lamium did not do so good. You can see how scarce that is. Hostas are fine. And this is my Solomon seal. I think this all went out of bounds. I'm going to try and dig up that clump and put it somewhere. I love Solomon seal. It's a nice spreader. That's all the little pink tips emerging there. And then my little tree. I was really worried about my little tree with the temps that we had. I thought for its first winter, that was tough on a lot of these plants. But I have got new growth emerging everywhere. I didn't lose anything. Very happy about that. Alright, so that's it for this tour. There wasn't a whole lot, but I'll keep you updated. I'm wondering if I should do weekly tours or every 2 weeks just to show you the progress. Oh, and then last 2 little things. My heuchera. This one didn't make it over here, so I'm gonna dig these up and put them somewhere. And then I think I'm just gonna move this planter forward a little bit, because the runoff from the rain is just hitting the back of it and smushing things down in there. These shrubs, I'm surprised they did bounce back. I think since December they were just packed down with snow. I didn't think they were going to bounce back ever, but they look really good. I've got a lot of trimming to do on those. But hopefully you enjoyed this tour. Not a lot going on, but I will keep you updated on anything new, and hopefully the weather starts getting a little nicer. The the safe time for us to plant at least our annuals and vegetables is the middle of May. So we'll see how that goes. I'm usually not so gung-ho to do that. I wait a little bit because this is Minnesota. All right. Bye for now.